I was googling some emo quotes for this intro, but then I realized I couldn't say anything with a straight face, so we'll take the initiative to stop being sad and depressed about video games. Hatred is an isometric shooter by Destructive Creations. It was considered controversial up to its release, and was even removed from Steam Greenlight for a time. Even the game's logo is stylized the same as Doom's logo, also a somewhat controversial game from another time period. Does it live up to its reputation? Let's find out. You play as a psychopath who hates humanity and is hell-bent on killing everyone he sees. That's the game in a nutshell. You kill people. For a top-down shooter like this, aiming your weapon is the most basic thing that has to work flawlessly, and they couldn't even get that right. I often lose track of the cursor because it's blending in with the background. Hey, let's make it gray like everything else. No one will complain about that, am I right? It wasn't until halfway through the game that I found out you could change the color of the cursor, so it's gray by default. Doesn't matter because changing it doesn't help. The cursor is too small and there's no option to make it larger. The camera doesn't help either because it feels so sluggish, just slowly panning towards the direction of the cursor. These two things are what make the game hard to control. The controls themselves are okay and they feel very responsive, but it's hard to control what you can't see properly. I frequently run into objects like signs and trees. You'd think you could just run around it, but it's harder than it looks. Even with the right conditions, when you can see the cursor and you have a good line of sight on a target, can you really hit them? I shouldn't have to ask this question. They should draw a line from the character's gun to the cursor or wherever the bullets will end up. Healing in the game is interesting to say the least. You regain health by executing people on the ground. Nice! It was amusing the first few times, but the novelty quickly wears out. Then it just becomes annoying because you're forced to watch a 3-second cutscene for what amounts to picking up a med kit. Even the enemy AI is terrible. Not only do they try to shoot you through the walls, they try to shoot through each other. They don't seem to be aware that fire is dangerous, so they try to walk through the fire and they burn to death. There's no sense of accomplishment or progress to anything. You just kill people. The objectives are basically kill people in this area or kill X amount of this type of people. It feels as if the only way you can enjoy this game is if you take pleasure in hurting other people. Damn. No wonder I'm bored. There's so many ways they can make the game more interesting. Don't think about the ethics, just think about gameplay mechanics. How about taking a civilian hostage and using them as a human shield in a gunfight? How about lighting a building on fire so everyone inside will burn to death? How about decapitating people and using their heads to scare everyone? On that note, how about a system of morale where high enemy morale will cause civilians to rush you and low morale will force them to hide in a corner? Just some ideas. I honestly have a hard time understanding how anyone can enjoy this game after an hour or so. There's so many obvious problems with the game that can be revealed with some basic playtesting. It's as if they knew their game was so boring that they couldn't be bothered to play it. I'm also having problems with the frame rate. It dips down to below 30 frames per second, so I guess you can say they were going for that cinematic approach. But that's a bit of a stretch. I don't even think they care. This game is so short, we might as well just call it a review. It's bad. So, what does the future hold for this game? Forget weeks. In a few short days, dead game is dead. The selling point of this game is controversy, and it was a top seller on Steam, but the whole premise behind it is a gimmick. Hatred is gimmick personified. This game appeals to edgy teenagers who hate the world because roses have thorns or something like that. Coincidentally, Valve has just announced a change to Steam's refund policy. You can request a refund to any purchase for any reason. I'd imagine people are requesting refunds on this game, and the fact that it was a top-selling game will be irrelevant. Without strong sales for this game, there's no reason for any politicians or soccer moms to latch onto this. Any of their usual speeches at this point would only serve as advertisement for the game. They only go for the big fish like Grand Theft Auto because their popularity effectively gives them a bigger soapbox, and their actions won't do anything to their sales anyway. Saying anything about hatred would be very counterproductive for them. After a few months, nothing. This game is dead, and it needs to cut itself to feel alive. How's that for a long-term analysis? I've played mods that involve mindlessly killing stuff. I've made mods that involve mindlessly killing stuff. I know firsthand as a player and a content creator just how boring it is. Killing is just a mechanic. You have to combine it with other mechanics to make a fun and interesting game. If all you have is killing, you have nothing. It's as if the developers were more interested in making controversy than making a good game. If your goal is to generate controversy, where's my school shooting? Don't tell me that's crossing the line, you pussies. There's only one thing offensive about this game. It's $20. And I just want to make it clear to everyone, this game could have been good. Any game can have some fun and interesting gameplay, it all comes down to the execution. I have to play this game again in a few months for the follow-up, and that makes me sad.